Welcome to the Canadian Charity Law Podcast, where we tackle the sometimes head-scratching world of charity law in Canada, so you can focus on the heartwarming stuff. Brought to you by the bright minds at B.I.G. Charity Law Group, the charity lawyers who believe navigating regulations shouldn't feel like a complicated puzzle. We'll shine a light on everything from getting registered to smart fundraising and happy governance. Whether you're just starting out, looking to start a charity, nonprofit, or foundation, or looking to level up your charity game, we're here to bring clarity and maybe a chuckle or two. Ready to make an impact without the legal headaches? Let's jump in.
Okay, so picture this. It's a Tuesday. You're feeling inspired. You look around your community and, you see people struggling. Maybe the local factory just closed, or you just see a lot of folks who want to work but can't seem to catch a break. You think, I can fix this?
The classic hero's journey begins.
Exactly. So you grab your laptop, you come up with some catchy name, Jobs for Joy or something.
You're not optimistic.
Totally. And you file your paperwork with the Canada Revenue Agency to become a registered charity. You're feeling great. You're ready to save the world.
And then reality hits.
Like a freight train. You get this letter back, and you're expecting a welcome to the club, but instead you get a flat rejection. A letter that basically says, nice try, but helping people get jobs. That's not charity.
Wow. It sounds so incredibly harsh when you say it like that.
It sounds totally backwards. I mean, isn't that the ultimate form of helping someone? We all know the saying, right? Teach a man to fish.
Feed him for a lifetime. Yeah.
But the CRA is looking at your fishing lessons and saying, sorry, this looks an awful lot like a business to us.
Or a private benefit or even just economic development. It's a total minefield. And that really is the central irony we're digging into today. We just assume that employment is inherently charitable.
Of course.
But in the eyes of Canadian law, specifically the CRA, just helping people find jobs does not automatically get you that golden ticket.
I'm still reeling from this, honestly. So to guide us through this maze, we're diving into a document called Registering Canadian Employment Charities, 7 Pitfalls to Avoid. It's by Dov Goldberg from the Charity Law Group.
And he's the perfect guide. He's seen all the rejection letters. He knows exactly where well-meaning people trip over all that red tape.
So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how you can actually get one of these charities approved without falling into these 7 legal traps. Because apparently you can't just, vibe your way into charitable status.
Definitely not. And we should probably clarify why this matters so much. Being a registered charity isn't just a nice little badge of honor. It lets you issue tax receipts.
Which is how you get donations.
Exactly. It means the government, and by extension the taxpayer, is subsidizing your work. So the CRA has to be the bouncer at the club.
Okay, yeah.
They have to make sure that public money is going to a genuine public good, not just, fueling the economy or helping some private business save on hiring costs.
That makes sense. They're protecting the tax base. I get it. Okay, let's see how that plays out. Let's jump into pitfall number 1. Goldberg calls it the everyone problem.
This is the first and maybe the biggest stumbling block. You send in an application that says, we exist to provide employment for the general public.
Sounds good to me. You're not discriminating.
To you, it sounds inclusive. To the CRA, it sounds like a rejection letter waiting to happen.
So what's wrong with helping everyone? Dave down the street, my cousin who just graduated.
Because under common law, charity has to fall into these specific categories or heads. You've got relief of poverty, advancement of education.
Right, the big ones.
The big ones. And giving people jobs just isn't one of them on its own. It's too broad.
Too broad.
Way too broad. Because the public includes people who don't need charity. It includes billionaires, people who are already employed but just want a better job. Helping them isn't charity. It's just a business service.
So I have to be specific. I can't help Dave just because he's a nice guy.
Not unless Dave fits a specific profile. Goldberg says you have to pivot your mission to a recognized purpose. You basically have 2 lanes.
Okay.
Lane 1 is relief of poverty.
So you phrase it as, we help people who are experiencing poverty find employment.
Exactly. Now you have a specific group that is legally recognized as needing relief. Lane 2 is advancement of education.
So that's the training angle.
Yes. Providing employment-related training with a structured educational component. Now, you're not a headhunter. You're basically a school.
I see. So it's not about the results, the job. It's about the how and the who. You have to prove you're relieving a specific condition or providing a specific good like education.
Precision is your friend. Everyone is the enemy.
Got it. Okay, let's move on. Pitfall number 2. This one is my favorite because it sounds so good on paper. I feel like everyone with a conscience has thought about this. The social enterprise trap.
The charitable coffee shop.
The cafe dilemma. It sounds perfect, right? I'll open a hip little cafe, we'll serve fancy lattes, but the twist is we hire at-risk youth or unemployed people as baristas. We give them jobs, we sell coffee, profits go back into the program. Win, win, win.
In your heart.
Yes.
In the eyes of the CRA. You are now Starbucks.
Ouch. Why?
Because the CRA looks at the activity. And if your main activity seems to be running a successful cafe, making sure the foam is perfect, the customers are happy, then you are running a business.
But the point of the coffee is to fund the mission.
That's not enough. The business part itself has to be integral to the mission. Goldberg lays out these related business rules, and if you want that cafe to be a charity, you have to follow some very, very unbusinesslike rules.
Okay, lay them on me. How do I make my cafe legal?
First, the 70% rule. At least 70% of the employees in that cafe have to be from your specific beneficiary group.
So if I have 10 staff, 7 of them have to be the at-risk youth I'm trying to help.
Correct. You can't just hire 10 pros and have one charity case washing dishes. The workforce is the mission. The other 30% can be managers, trainers, but the bulk has to be the beneficiaries.
Okay, that's tough, but doable. What else?
Structure. There has to be actual instruction.
Yeah.
Training, like skills coaching, has to be educational. But here's the real kicker. This is the one that breaks hearts. The employment has to be temporary.
Temporary? What? So I have to fire them?
Graduate is the word they prefer,
Yes.
but yes. The goal is to get them ready for the wider job market. If you keep them on forever because they make amazing latte art and the regulars love them,
You're putting the business first.
you're prioritizing the business over the charitable benefit.
That is such a wild paradox. So if I have an amazing employee who's driving sales, I have to let them go.
You have to push them out of the nest. See, if you hoard talent to maximize profit, you're a business. If you churn talent to maximize your social impact by freeing up that spot for the next person in need, then you're a charity.
Wow. A business tries to keep good people. A charity tries to get them to leave.
Perfectly put.
Okay, let's look at pitfall number 3. This feels like a no good deed goes unpunished thing. So let's say there's a big factory in town, Factory X. They need welders. I find people who need jobs. I train them to be welders specifically for Factory X. Boom! Solved.
And boom, rejected. This is the private benefit trap.
Come on, I'm solving a labor shortage and an unemployment problem at the same time.
But who's really benefiting the most financially?
Oh.
The CRA looks at that and says, you're using tax-subsidized charitable dollars to act as a free training department for a for-profit company.
So Factory X should be paying for their own training.
They should.
Yeah.
You're subsidizing their recruitment costs. That is a private benefit, and it's a massive red flag.
So does that mean I can't train people for specific jobs?
You can, but the skills have to be transferable. That's the magic word. If you teach them how to use a machine that only exists at Factory X, that's a private benefit. But if you teach them general welding safety, how to read blueprints, punctuality,
Skills they can take to any welding job.
then you're empowering the worker, not just plugging a hole for one company. The benefit to the employer becomes incidental, a happy side effect.
This actually connects really well to pitfall number 5, right? The Headhunter Trap.
Yes, they're cousins.
Yeah.
It's all about how you frame your organization.
Right. I've seen this. You go to a nonprofit's website and the headline is, Employers, are you struggling to find staff? Let us solve your problems.
And that is a death sentence for your application. If you sound like a recruitment firm, the CRA will treat you like one. A recruitment firm works for the employer. A charity has to work for the beneficiary.
Your client has to be the person in need.
Exactly. Your whole focus, your messaging, your website, your operations, it has to be 100% worker-centric.
It's subtle, but I guess when you're dealing with tax law, words really, really matter.
Words are everything.
Okay, let's talk about who we're helping again. Pitfall number 4. This is about the wrong people. What about the underemployed? The working poor. Someone has a job, but it's a dead-end, minimum wage gig, and they want to upgrade their skills.
This is a really tricky area because, we hear about the skills gap all the time. But for the CRA, helping someone get a better job isn't always charitable.
Why not? Upward mobility is good for everyone.
It is socially good, but is it legally charitable? The standard for relief usually requires that the beneficiaries can't really help themselves. If someone is already employed, even if they aren't rich, the CRA might argue they don't meet that threshold.
So they have to be in a really bad spot to qualify?
Usually, yes. To qualify for relief of unemployment, they typically need to be unemployed or facing imminent unemployment.
Imminent? Like they've literally gotten a pink slip.
Or their entire industry is collapsing. But just offering a level up your career workshop for, the middle class, that's professional development. That's a commercial service. It's not charity.
It feels like the system is designed to only catch you when you hit rock bottom.
That's a valid critique. The tax exemption is for the safety net, not necessarily the ladder of success.
Speaking of success, pitfall number 6, entrepreneurship. This is huge right now. Can I start a charity that helps people launch their own businesses?
This is one of the hardest things to get approved. The CRA generally sees promoting commerce as economic development. And that's the government's job or the private sector's job. It is not a charitable purpose.
But if I help a low-income person start, say, a landscaping business, I'm relieving their poverty.
And that is the only way it can work. If the program is strictly, and I mean strictly, tied to relieving poverty, it might pass. But Goldberg points out this massive catch. Let's call it the success limit.
The success limit. That sounds ominous.
It's basically a kill switch. So you help that person start their landscaping business. It goes well. They get some clients. They're making a profit. They are no longer in poverty.
That's the goal. Success.
And at that exact moment, the charitable help has to stop.
Wait, like cold turkey?
Pretty much. Because if you keep giving them free mentorship or subsidized equipment once they're a viable business, you're now distorting the market. You're unfairly subsidizing a private competitor.
Wow. So you can help them start, but you absolutely cannot help them scale.
Exactly. You can't use tax-exempt dollars to incubate the next tech giant. You can only use them to pull someone to the starting line. The second they're on their feet, you have to let go.
That must be an administrative nightmare. Oh, you made a profit this month. Sorry, you're out.
It's incredibly difficult. And not having a clear policy for that is a major reason these applications get rejected.
Okay, this feels like walking a tightrope. Which brings us to the final hurdle. Pitfall number 7, the trust me bro error.
I love that name for it. This is the vibes problem again.
Right. An organization applies and just says, we know our program works because we're passionate and smart.
And the CRA says, show me the data. Goldberg points out that a ton of applications fail because they just rely on the subjective opinions of their own board members. We believe this training will reduce crime.
And belief isn't enough.
Not even close. They demand objective evidence. You need to cite research, you need labor market data, you need to show that program A has been proven to lead to outcome B.
So you can't just invent a new experimental way of helping people and expect the government to fund it blindly.
No. The benefit has to be, and I'm quoting here, demonstrable and socially useful. If you can't prove it works with external evidence, you're just a well-intentioned experiment, not a registered charity.
So, summarizing this journey, it really seems like the CRA isn't trying to be evil. They aren't anti-job.
No, not at all. They're just the guardians of a very old, very specific definition. They're making sure that the tax subsidy, which is a really powerful tool, is used strictly for public good, not for private profit.
So if I want to succeed, if I want to work with this system, what's the recipe?
Okay, based on Goldberg's guide, here's your checklist. 1, frame your mission around poverty or education. Be specific.
Okay.
2, help eligible beneficiaries, not just everyone. 3, avoid private benefits. Teach transferable skills.
Okay.
4, if you run a business like that cafe, follow the strict rules. The 70% rule, mandatory training, and a graduation policy. And 5, document everything. Use objective data to prove your model actually works.
It sounds like you have to be as good at paperwork as you are at helping people.
In the world of registered charity, the paperwork is how you help people. It's the foundation that lets you do anything at all.
That's a deep thought. Okay, before we sign off, I have something I'm still chewing on.
What's on your mind?
We talked about how a charity can't really be a business. You can't keep the cafe employees too long. You can't help the entrepreneur once they get successful. It feels there's this weird paradox. Well, if the definition of charity explicitly excludes promoting commerce, are we saying that charity is supposed to be, I don't know, temporary or limited? Like, at what point does a really, really successful charity one that actually solves the problem become a business?
That is a fascinating question. If you solve poverty for your beneficiaries, they become consumers, they become producers. If your social enterprise becomes totally self-sustaining, do you need donations anymore? It raises the question, is the ultimate goal of a charity to put itself out of business?
Exactly. It's like the system is designed to keep you in this specific lane of struggle, and the second you step into success, the rules just change completely.
It creates this really stark divide between doing good and doing business, even when those lines are blurring more and more. But for now, the law is the law. And it's been that way for about 400 years.
Well, something for everyone listening to think about next time they buy a charitable coffee. Is it a charity? Is it a business? Or is it just a really complicated tax form with a barista behind it?
Probably the latter.
A huge thank you to Dov Goldberg and the Charity Law Group for the source material today. It was a dense read, but man, does it open your eyes.
Indeed. Good luck to everyone out there filling out those forms. Be specific, be objective, and keep your receipts.
And maybe hold off on the cafe unless you're ready to fire your best barista. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Stay curious, stay compliant, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for spending some quality time with the Canadian Charity Law Podcast. Brought to you with a smile by the team at B.I.G. Charity Law Group. We're genuinely excited about the amazing work you do and are here to make the legal side of things a breeze, or at least a gentle breeze. If you're looking for legal guidance that's both insightful and approachable, swing by CharityLawGroup.ca. Discover how our positive attitude and deep knowledge can help your organization thrive and make an even bigger difference. Don't let legalities dim your charitable sparkle. Connect with the cheerful experts at B.I.G. Charity Law Group at CharityLawGroup.ca. We promise it won't be taxing. See you next time.